Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You would think that I was running an open mic. I am not. Hi, this is Janet Kuypers, and in our quarantine times, I reflected upon the fact that when I ran a poetry open mic that is titled The Cafe Gallery, started by David Rubin in 1996, went on to Charlie Newman, then to me, then when I left Chicago, I passed it on to Dave Getchik. I noticed that, and my cats are meowing at me, I remembered that because it ran from 7 to 9 o'clock on Tuesday nights like tonight, if there was nobody there at the beginning, because all poets are late, I would still have to start, so I would start reading poetry from recently released Scars Publications books. And it's been a pleasure to read Scars Publications stuff for you guys. I would read things from both literary magazines, and I thought, because in honor of that idea, I would read like I would at those times, starting at 7 o'clock, I would read a block of poems from a book. And I was going to read poems from the book Outside the Box. It is Down in the Dirt Magazine's May to August 2020 issue collection book. And I was going to read some of the poems from the very end of it. Why not? I'll just pick a block of poems from the very end of this book to be able to share with you guys. I hope you like it. I feel bad that the open mic can't be running in Chicago still, and I can't start the open mic because I passed along in Chicago to Dave Getchik. But this is just an homage to the book readings that I would do at the beginnings on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock sharp. So I'm going to share with you a few poems from this back of the book, and I hope you enjoy them. This first one is called Following in the Footsteps of Genius, and it was actually written on International Left-Handers Day. Sorry, I get to be yay for left-handers, right? This is called Following in the Footsteps of Genius. I've been opening refrigerator doors from the wrong side I don't know how many times. I mean, I'm used to using the mouse on the right side of a computer with my right hand, and using right-handed scissors with my right hand too. Because us creative types, from Hendrix to Jon Stewart, have learned how to play by the right-handed rules and still be amazingly successful in our own rights. How many U.S. presidents have been left-handed, including everyone from George to Reagan to Bush to Clinton? Oh, wait, not Bush, but Clinton to actually Barack Obama. But they don't share that fact because this is a right-handed world, isn't it? Other left-handed people? Let's try Leonardo da Vinci, Mark Twain, Mozart, Marie Curie. Hey, from Aristotle to Alexander the Great, or even Joan of Arc to Ben Franklin. Nuns would physically punish my left-handed family for writing left-handed, and I could only ask, why punish the creative few for following in the footsteps of genius? Fun doing things for every event of the year. You get to find a lot of interesting, fascinating holidays. This one, and this is one I have to share with you guys, I think. I recognize the title. It is called Once You Find Fame. And the tiny print of what this date was, I have to put on my husband's reading glasses. This was written for the August 15th date in 1914, when a servant of the American architect Frank Lloyd Wright murdered 7 people and set fire to his living quarters of Wright's Wisconsin home, Towson. Did you even know that happened? Did you even know that happened? I was just like, what? So I had to give it up for my, my local thing with the Frank Lloyd Wright. I hope you appreciate this. This is called Once You Found Fame. On the surface, there seemed to be no explanation for what seems to be so extraordinarily violent. You worked all your life. Your fame came with your greatness. And so you thought you could ditch your old way of life and start anew. And it never occurred to you that you may hurt people while being too busy once you've risen to the top. You only wanted to have a moment of peace in your new little love nest, but you may have overlooked those who could later turn their back to you, then cause a fiery massacre that tears your heart out. Their terrible crime is a tragedy to your soul, and you will do whatever you can to make amends, but all you try to do will all become caught in flames again, like how fire is only the only way to remove the memories of those who have died. And in the back of your mind, all you wonder is if this pain only came after pushing everyone away once you found fame. The crazy thing about that cottage that he had built, that this servant, after killing people, burned down, said, I'm going to put it back together. And he did. And then later, not from arson, it burned down again. It was like this house wasn't meant to stand. I don't know the stories, but that was just the craziest thing to me, in my opinion. But I've got more poems to share with different dates and events of things that have gone on. This poem was actually written on August 24th for a day that, led by Abby Hoffman, the Youth International Party decided to disrupt the New York Stock Exchange they actually went to the trading station and they were throwing dollar bills over the viewing gallery, and it caused all the traders to actually stop what they were doing to scramble for cash. That's just the funniest thing to me. The funniest thing. They're trading lots of stuff and they're like, free money, dollars. I just, what? There you go. There's an explanation. This is called a value of what money does. In our modern day culture, money is needed to survive. I get it. But a line is crossed when the value of money versus the value of what money does. Prove me wrong. Take a look at the traders at the New York Stock Exchange. Go ahead, throw money down on their trading floor and see how short-sighted these money-obsessed men can really be. I get it. To deal with the culture, you have to deal with money. I get it. But see how short-sighted it can make some. Then check back to see how happy they can really be. Very valuable point. Very valuable point. All right. I've got a couple more for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more for you. A couple of them are haikus, so I hope you're enjoying this. The beginning of how I would run the cafe gallery open mic if nobody was there right at the beginning, and you have to have enough people to be able to start the poetry open mic. I would start just by reading poems, and like I'm doing right now from this book, Outside the Box, a Down in the Dirt collection book. This poem is called Everyone is to Blame, and it was written on the anniversary, August 31st, 1839, where Mary Ann Burton was murdered, and it was the first known murder of Jack the Ripper. August 31st is also the day in 1997 where Princess Diana died in a car crash after paparazzi was following them. Both of those things happened on the same day. Different years. But anyway, this short poem reflects both of them. It's called Everyone is to Blame. We struggle for our lives at our own peril. Women in history have had a hard history. These women, these who have fought hard to make it on their own, the only way they knew how, sometimes had it worse until their safety was in peril. What for walking down the street? What for trying to trust a strange man? But does it matter how any of these women are killed by a murderer or by paparazzi? For rich or poor, famous or hated, we all have to watch our backs. for this violence, everyone is to blame. Okay, I'm gonna have to come up with something that's more interesting. This is a poem that's called Voyager. It's really tiny print, so I'm using my husband's reading glasses. It was written on the anniversary of the August 25th, 2012 date, the NASA Voyager 1, now interstellar mission, actually went into the unknown. This is the day that first satellite from humankind has left our solar system, is in interstellar space. That seems like a cool thing, right? So that's in honor of that, and that's in honor of days that are right around now. I hope you guys are enjoying them. This poem is called Voyager. It's frightening, exploring something for the first time. Getting up on your own 2 feet the first time, placing one foot in front of the other, keeping balance, walking. Turning the ignition of a foreign car, trying to check every mirror and direction, shifting and then letting it drive. Swimming down to the bottom of the ocean to see sleeping creatures and realize that you're above a bed of sharks. What were you thinking going down that low under your goal? Was your to get up high, to touch the sky, to learn to fly? Though it's a scary thing, exploring something for the first time. Looking out a tiny oval-sized, oval-cornered window at clouds 10,000 feet below as compressed air gives the hotel smell. Checking the altimeter when sitting in an airplane with no door before you get up and walk to that gaping hole. When one president gave the decree to land man on the moon, no one knew how to do it. This was all uncharted land. And it literally was flying by the seat of our pants. So when you start getting good at something, sending objects into space, decide to send a Voyager to the edges of our solar system to learn about those outer planets. But after their work's done, don't try flying those behemoths back. So let's just see how far they can go and if they make it to interstellar space. Maybe they might send us some new data, but who knew how long transmissions would even take to get to us? Would our flying by the seat of our pants expression even work? Because, as I said, we've never done this before. It's frightening, for we still don't know what we may find. We even made a golden records with details about humanity in case these Voyagers actually discover life, hoping they may decipher our coded messages now traveling in interstellar space. Long after humanity has even existed, because, as I said, it's frightening, exploring something for the very first time. It is amazing to think that that's actually going to happen, that this thing is actually out there, and NASA is getting data. Is it data or data? No matter. But they're getting information. They're getting information from it, which is absolutely amazing. It's amazing what we can learn from flying by the seat of our pants, as we say. And perfect for that, I've got a little haiku here that was written for August 19th, which is National Aviation Day, which is right after it in this book, and it's called Use Your Mind. Now meant to take flight. Use propellers, rudders, wings. But first, use your mind. I have 2 more for you guys for marking the end of the theory and the plan of reading things from books at the beginning of the open mic that I ran in Chicago for over half a decade that was called the Cafe Gallery, and I thought in honor of that, 5 years from that, I would do a couple of readings like that for you. This first book, this first poem of these last two I'm going to share with you. Should I wear these glasses? It doesn't really. Light's getting low. Does it matter? This is called Exploited Color in Books, and it was written on the anniversary of the August 14th, 1457 date of the first book was printed in color. All right, this one doesn't have color inside of it, but others do, so check this out. This is called Exploited Color in Books. We think that we in the modern world have a monopoly over sensory exploitation since our 20-second attention spans look at screens and magazines in full color. But we should make clear that everything here has existed long ago this way, even if it was merely on a printed page. But still, people exploited color in books half a millennia ago. Those of us who love holding books in our hands may be the same people who prefer newspapers to tablets. Those cumbersome pages still have a glorious feel as we hold and turn the pages in our hands. And as we welcome better inks on pages now that are less inclined to rub into our hands, we're also graced with color in pictures, in ads, in headers, and occasionally in type. And it's type in books that first caught the eye of book designers when in 1457 the first color book was ever printed, a book with the Book of Psalms and commissioned from the Archbishop of Mainz. It had bold initial letters emblazoned in blue and reds, and yes, this was also the first time different size types were also used in books. The books were also printed on vellum, fine parchment paper, get a load of this, made from the skin of a calf. Which makes me think of those cream pages we love when reading poetry books and literary magazines with the modern convenience of not killing animals, printed with black ink as well as occasional color inks. Because, yes, it's convenient in full color 3x4 inch screens at your fingertips with splendid views and memory cards to view miniature videos, photography, or just the right type. But holding a book in your hands with just the right amount of color, that is what really can pull you in. And not only into a story, but also into finding something you'll want to look at for more than 20 seconds, because you'll want to keep that on your library shelf. And it's cool when you have color in books as well, and Scars has done color books as well, and it's the coolest thing to be able to see how technology has worked over the years. And in light of that, I think I'm going to share one haiku with you guys to finish off this reading section from this Down in the Dirt May to August 2020 issue collection book called Outside the Box. And it is a piece that is called Foretell. Oh, I'm going to need reading glasses, I think. This is like the tiniest type that shows explanation for it. This was written, what does it say? Written on the anniversary of the August 18th, 1783 date, when a great meteor went over the British Isles, Great Britain, and it was an unknown object to people, and it also split into several pieces. Consider this, 1800s, time where science can't understand what these things are. This is what people thought, I think, and it's called Foretell. Streak across the sky, colored lights flash in the heavens. Foretell, rumbling, doom. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I wish I could be with my Chicago connections to be able to share poetry at an open mic the way I would at the Cafe Gallery, oftentimes on Tuesday nights starting at 7 o'clock, if poets didn't get there on time, I would start by reading things from a recently released Scars Publications book, which was the case with this one. This is the Down the Dirt book, Outside the Box. If you would like to know anything about Down the Dirt magazine, or CC&D magazine, the longer running magazine of Scars Publications, you can go to scars.tv online, SCARS.tv, scars.tv/CCD for CC&D, or scars.tv/dirt for Down in the Dirt. So, and we're always looking for submissions, so if anybody wants to send anything, you can find an email address there and send it off to me, and that would just thrill me to no end, because I can get more Chicago connections in with my magazines. Anywho, I hope everyone is remaining safe in these times, and I hope everyone is secure. I hope that everyone is doing well right now when we're all having to be at home. I hope everyone is staying poetically inclined, and I want each and every one of you out there to know that you are loved. Thank you so very much for listening, and thank you very much.